talking about boxing. Just absolutely boxing. We're talking about boxing. Just absolutely boxing. Boxing. Just absolutely boxing.
All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to the Just Absolutely Boxing podcast. My name is Combo Breaker 99.
It's your boy Boxing P. What's up, everybody?
And we back with episode 62. Last week was our year anniversary, P.
Yeah, man.
Everything was good, right? You know, if y'all hadn't heard the last episode, you know, we went to go kick it at Jawbreaker Boxing.
Yeah.
Shout out to the fam over there. Big Mike, Lil Mike,
right.
Remy.
Check that out if you haven't had a chance to yet. It was just fun, man. We wasn't outlined. We was just loose and having a good time. And I think they can see that if they listen to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we just want to kind of kick it in the atmosphere. Just let y'all see the outside of the ring with fighters, you
right.
know, and, you know, trainers, owners of gyms, you just kicking it, having fun, man. But we back on our regular scheduled program like we always do, talk this boxing conversation. Talk a little bit about last weekend's fight between Manny Pacquiao and Matthysse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is Manny back or has he ever left? You know, his overall performance. It was fight week again, man. Jaime Munguia versus Liam Smith.
Yes, sir.
And we don't get enough news on the World Boxing Series. You think something called World Boxing Series would be shown in the United States, you know?
Right.
But we also got another big fight between Alexander Usyk versus Murat Gassiev. And that's for all the belts of cruiserweight. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm talking about all of them. You know, that's undisputed. They trying to get their Terrence Crawford on, you know, all the belts. So before we get into it, what you been up to, P?
Like I always say, just same old, same, man. Working, grinding, just taking one day at a time, pretty much, man. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here, man. Just been trying to stay in shape a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's hot as hell, but I still try to do the road work. You know, run a little bit. You know. I just got back
That's
in the
bad boy right there.
Yeah. You know, I do a mile or two. I ain't doing no 7.
Yeah. But that's still impressive in that type of heat, and I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
It's a mile and a half, but about 4 or 5 in that heat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But if you do that, man, make sure you got some water.
For sure.
Water or Gatorade, man.
I mean, I definitely been working out, but I've been indoors for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Indoors all day.
The thing is, I don't suggest that to everybody either running outside because, like, I know some people I've been seeing on the news, like, real healthy, fit people that run in these high-degree temperatures, and they die from
that heat. I mean, because it really don't have nothing to do with being healthy. It's, you know, how the sun could affect you individually, you know what I'm saying? And young people, old people, dogs. You know, a friend of mine, she got a pit bull. Pit bulls are known to be durable. Mm-hmm. And her pit bull was outside in the yard, had a heat stroke. She went out there, he was having a seizure. I was like, what? You know, these dogs. So I'm just saying it's hot out there, man. You know.
I done talked myself out of it. I'm running inside.
That was easy.
I'm done. But anyways, last weekend we got a chance to see Manny Pacquiao get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Matthysse, to me, he's a durable opponent.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what anybody say, but Pacquiao, he was able to score an impressive 7th round knockout. His first knockout in 9 years.
Yeah. For
his 11th world title. What'd you think of his performance overall, man?
Like I say, I thought Manny looked good. I mean, with it's really nothing else to say. He looked good. I mean, the speed was there, the foot speed was there, the hand speed was there. I mean, some power was there. You know, he turned the guy who, you know, was Lucas for. He's Argentinian.
Yeah, he's Argentinian.
So I mean, guys who were known to be a tough guy. You know, he always had that warrior presence in the ring, and just to give Lucas that look on his face, that look of you don't want no more, is impressive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people were, you know, on the fence about the knockdown, but I looked at it as whatever, regardless, he didn't want to go on anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fight was out. Manny took the fight out of him. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was a good performance by Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I did too, because for me, going into the fight, I wasn't really feeling like everybody else. You know, a lot of people were kind of on the fence. Some people were saying Lucas was going to knock Manny out, but they got to remember the Marquez knockout, that was 6 years ago. And it was just an accurate punch by somebody who fought Pacquiao 3 damn times, you know? So he knows Pacquiao like a book. So going into this one, it was like, I didn't look at Manny as shot, you know? Everybody he's fought after Marquez, aside from Mayweather, he's looked good against.
Right.
You know, he might have changed his style up, you know, started boxing a little bit more to avoid knockouts. But other than that, his body language never really said he was done or shot, you know?
No. And it's just funny how the world can turn on you like that, Ant.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you know, the other day we were talking about it. I mean, Manny gave us some of the most entertaining fights in the last decade. And for people to just write him off now, I mean, whether you're a fan or not, you know, it ain't right. You know what I mean? It ain't right. And we seen Saturday night that it ain't over for him. You know what I mean? He still got stuff in the tank.
Yeah, because what he did last weekend was what you wanted to see him do against a so-called B-level opponent. You know, people are saying, okay, he not on this level. Okay, so I'm going to get him out of there and make him look like that.
Right. And I mean, and that's still debatable, man. I mean, you talking about a guy, Lucas Matthysse, who was a younger guy. He's been in there with Danny Gassiev. He's been in there with the younger guys mixing it up. I mean, Manny was the older guy.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
He was able to take Lamont Peterson out.
Yeah, Lamont Peterson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for people to just make that assumption, that's kind of ludicrous. You know what I mean? Because he has been in there. He wasn't. I mean, how you say B minus? But you said C plus or
no B?
Yeah, B fighter definitely all day long.
Yeah, he not
all day long.
Yeah, he definitely
all day long. B. Yeah. So it was a fight that, you know, people were interested in, because I mean, like I say, Manny is a warrior. We knew Lucas to be a warrior, and we thought Lucas would do more. Yeah. But, you know, I mean,
kind of show you know, the levels.
Right.
It showed you what level Manny is on, because the power that Pacquiao possesses, it's not always going to be that type of power that's going to be concussive. You see the guy's legs go down. You know, you know what I mean? Go to jelly. It's like, it's so fast that the reaction in your brain is just shutting down. You know, like the punches he was hitting him in the first few rounds where he knocked him down a couple of times, it was like a shock. You know, he knocked Shane Mosley down with those type of punches, but Shane's got a really good chin. You know,
yeah. Shane couldn't believe, he didn't know what happened. He said, "Am I on the ground?" Yeah. It wasn't. He wasn't dazed really. He was just.
It was like,
that quick.
How'd I get here?
How'd I get here? Exactly.
So after taking a beating like that for 7 rounds for somebody like Matthysse, and then taking that left uppercut, it was just like, I'm done. You know?
Yeah. It took the fight out of him. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I say there's really no way you can really count a guy like Manny, because it's like casual fans, they kind of go back and take everything they ever said about a fighter, you know, if they watched all 70 fights of Pacquiao, you know what I mean? And then they just go on to the next thing, which kind of brings me to my next question. You know, a lot of people have already been kind of saying Pacquiao Lomachenko. Even, you know, whenever you brought that up to me at work, man, I told you how I feel, how you feel about it.
Great fight. But real quick, and I just want to add one little tidbit on the Manny thing is,
okay.
Like I say, to touch on, you know, he gave us some of the best fights in the last decade. He's made millions of dollars. It's kind of unfortunate that he still has to get in the ring. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
You know, so
not by choice, but he has to.
Yeah, he got to hit, you know, and that's a sad time for a boxer when they're fighting because they have to or whatever. But on to this Manny and Lomachenko. I mean, I love the fight, and I mean, I wish we had a time machine and we could have present Lomachenko and Manny of 5 years ago. I mean, just to see that, you know what I mean? I already know what will happen, but I still would like to see it. But I still think that Manny right now got enough left to expose this kid, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, once you look at styles and what both of these guys do, it's just like, how can you count Manny out? Manny's a guy, like we said, 70 plus fights. Mm-hmm. I pick Manny pre-Marquez knockout. I pick Manny post-knockout.
Right.
I say either one of them can still beat Lomachenko. Because once you just go back and look at these guys and what they did, like Pacquiao, when he's hitting you with that blinding speed. Lomachenko, he's kind of pity-patting you know what I mean? And he still gets hit. And as long as there's a target, like I was telling you the other day, as long as there's a target, Manny's going to hit you. Yeah. You know?
I mean, he throwing 5-6 punch combinations. I mean, something going to get in there. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Manny is not, he punches in bunches. So, you know, where you got guys taking pot shots all night and throwing at low outputs. I mean, Manny coming with guns blazing. You know what I'm saying?
All day, man. All day, because the only fighters that kind of pose a threat to Manny, which we seen, was somebody like Floyd. Somebody that's not there, somebody that's out of range, and somebody that's, you know, going to take away his punch output. But I don't really see somebody like Lomachenko taking away his punch output, because he's kind of there, but he's turning those angles. But Manny can turn them angles.
Yeah, Manny he invented angles. I mean, you want to talk about angles, so that's why like I want to see it, because it's just these two styles is going to make for an interesting fight. But like you say, the wisdom, the power, the speed, all those things are in Manny's favor. Lomachenko, his chin is suspect. You know, he's been dropped. You know what I mean? It's things we still need to see about him. We've seen Manny in 70 plus fights. I mean, we ain't questioning nothing about him. We know everything, the heart, everything, you know. Still some question marks with Lomachenko. And I just think that, you know, no matter what happens, it's gonna be a really good and interesting fight. It should be an interesting fight. Yeah. To me.
I think it would definitely be interesting. I think the interesting part is what weight, 140, 147.
I mean, this the thing. Would Loma do it at a 147? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I don't think so. You know, so it probably maybe Catchway might do 142. I don't know, but 147, I doubt it. Cause has he called Manny out? Is he the one saying this, or people? Because in my mind, I don't know about any of that. I'm just paying these two together, you know, in my eyes, and I thought it would be a good fight. You know.
From what people been saying, this is just rumors, but like I've been hearing more rumors where they say it's Loma calling him out.
Okay, Manny, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so Loma is calling him out. Okay,
because Manny, he actually said, you know, from what I heard, you know, after the Lucas Matthysse fight, he'd be interested in a Crawford fight. You know, he'd be interested in that fight. You know, because you know he is a welterweight, so he thinking of staying in that zone. But Loma, he's supposed to be fighting in August, but I don't know who yet. I think Ray Beltran or something like that. But
I mean, that's the tough fight. I mean,
but for me, for Lomachenko, I think he biting off more than he can chew, man.
With Manny,
with Manny. Yeah. You know, Rigo, all these other guys, they're in a different realm. I mean,
absolutely.
Manny, he's been there with the best, man.
Like you say, I mean, we broke down the resume the other day. Lomachenko was what, 12-0?
Yeah.
Oh, 12-1.
12-1. Yeah, 12-1.
And Manny is like 70 plus fights. I mean, he got some losses on there, but his only loss his only bad loss was that Marquez loss. I mean, a lot of those other ones have been debatable and a lot of controversy behind him.
Yeah, he's been knocked out early in his career. But that was kind of like, you know, just a young Manny. But since then, he was just like a different fighter. Yeah. And since then, like we're saying, the Marquez fight is the one that just looked the scariest. But 6 years later, he ain't even look like that, you know? Yeah. He hasn't really missed a beat. I mean, he doesn't look like 2009 Manny, but he still looks like a guy that you won't really have to be scared for, you know, when he's in there.
I mean, once we seen him perform, I mean, I could look at Manny and see physically he's aged. I could see the age on him. He looks definitely different from 5, 6 years, 10 years ago or whatever, but to get in the ring and still be able to perform, like, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? He can still perform. The body is still reacting and doing the things that it needs to do in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, he been in hella wars and he's going to age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's what's even kind of impressive about his body, that, you know, being almost 40 and being in the war, that he still able to, get up and go. Because, I mean, like I say, people think about people's records, but they don't realize amateur career, training, sparring, a lot of behind the scenes, wear and tear on the body too before you even make it to any of these levels,
Yeah. And that's funny you mentioned that, because the other day I was watching this little interview on Terry Norris, somebody we might have to talk to. He's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah.
And since he's done with boxing, he has brain damage now, and like one of the doctors, she was just talking about how people forget that a fighter, before they go pro, they have so many other amateur fights, and that's a lot of wear and tear, because like he's had over 200 amateur fights, and people forget that's punishment too, right before you actually get in the ring. So you taking a toll from your amateur all the way up to professional. So
and then like you say, even training for the amateur. You spawn, you working. I mean, all that stuff is working on your body, your joints, everything.
Everything, yeah.
They say, 40-year-old man, 40-year-old boxer has the body of a 60-year-old man. I mean, and we can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Arthritis, I mean, you can imagine the hands. I mean, you had your hands balled up and wrapped up for years. That, I mean, you're going to eventually have some issues there.
Wrists and everything, yeah. I guess my last question before we move on is, like we were saying, we kind of feel a little sad Manny has to fight, and it's not really by choice, but do you think retirement is somewhere in the future? Do you want to see him retire soon?
I mean, we always just gotta be realistic about the situation, that, you know what I mean? Retirement is definitely on the horizon for him. I'm figuring he still got the politics to fall back on, maybe in his own country. I don't know if he wants to clear up this, IRS thing, because, he got this thing in the US with the IRS or whatever. Right. But I could look at him and see it's not the same it's not the same fire in him, in his face after the fight. You just see, to me, something looks different about him. And I think it's the fact that, that fire ain't necessarily there right now. He thinking back to when he was walking on the dirt road and had to feed, had to do what he had to do. This is his dirt road now. He's like, man, I don't want to, but hey, this ain't too bad of a dirt road for me right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's the thing with fighters when they get older, is like they try to refine that flame, or sometimes whenever they were like 25, it was always burning. You know what I mean? That fire was burning, but like when they get to be 35 or 40, they get little spurts here and there. And they kind of mistake that for the flame
coming back.
So you got one good fight, like you go look at Hopkins. Hopkins, he unified in the light heavyweight division, but when you stepped in there with somebody like Kovalev, that was kind of like a different animal, that you didn't have enough fire to take that guy,
exactly.
And that's no knock to him. That's just like, it was Kovalev's time.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. I mean,
stronger guy.
The young man is going to have the stronger fire,
than
the older man. The older man, his fire is,
it was enough to burn these.
The old man, he in there, trying to
some
flames jumping off or whatever. But that's just the way it is, and like it's a matter of time, man. B-Hop did great, but it eventually caught up with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then B-Hop is just like time. Nobody gonna beat time, Father Time. So.
And that's why it goes back to, like, for me. Retirement definitely should be on Manny's horizon, because ain't nothing but young lines. And I mean, he was able to get through this, but how many more, after all the wars he's already been through? These guys ain't been war torn yet, These guys fresh, they don't even fight, so they can't even catch up to what Manny's been through. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a matter of time, man. It's a couple of fights. He probably can string some wins together, but I mean, this definitely should be on his horizon. And then furthermore, you deserve to be retired right now, man. You know what I'm saying? You deserve. You got a castle in the Philippines, whatever you got. You need to be sitting back enjoying that. You put your work in.
That's the thing. The dollar over there, it translating to bigger pesos over there. So you could do some things with, a couple thousand, 100,000.
Yeah.
So on that note, I will say, I kind of hope, Manny does retire, maybe in the next year or so, man. Get one or two big fights, because like we say, like the Keith Thurmans, the Errol Spencers, they don't have the resume, but that a Manny does, but they could catch him on that day, man, you know, and that's just how it
works.
is.
Yeah, that's how it works, man.
Just the fire, like we say, that's the best way to put it. The fire is bigger, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anything to say before we jump on this?
No, I mean that's pretty much it, man. We do think it's a couple fights still out there for Manny. He looked good Saturday, but you know, realistically speaking, you know, the landscape of the game it's not much of a future for him there. No. You know.
I think Loma's a little bit safer than Bud. I want to see that, man.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to see him going to Bud, man.
I know that's what surprised me that you said he called him out. I didn't see that because definitely Loma should be, and Loma might be more money. You know what I'm saying? Might be more money.
Yeah.
You know, for an easier fight, because Bud, you know, I mean, he getting there, but Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford, I don't know, but Manny Pacquiao and Lomachenko, that's gonna sell.
That'll do numbers on.
That's gonna sell.
Yeah,
that's gonna sell.
Definitely. But going on to this Saturday, we got your man Jaime Munguia.
Oh yeah,
Jaime Munguia, the Beast.
Yeah,
he's stepping back in the ring to defend his title against I want to say Liam Smith. Yeah, because there's so many Liams over there. There's Liam Smith to defend his title. What do you think of this fight, man?
I'm just glad that, you know, Munguia, he's showing us the stuff that I like to see in a fighter. He's staying busy. He's you know, Liam Smith, he's been in there with some big names. You know, it's not just like a tomato can they found out of nowhere, you know. So he's taking on
Canelo.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying, Munguia and taking on Liam, I think that's not just a necessarily a gimme fight. You know what I mean? You know, this guy's experience, he's a little older, and Munguia could be schooled in there a little bit, you know, because this guy has been in there with some big names, and but I'm just glad that he's showing that energy that he wants to get in there and fight with big names and prove he's the best and not doing a lot of talking that. So, you know, that's just, you know, my take on it. He's staying active. What was it last time he was in the ring? You know,
2 months ago.
2 months ago. So that's what we want to see out of a young guy. You know, he's 21. You know what I mean? So stay busy, stay active. And I mean, he's staying active with names. Mm-hmm. So, I mean.
Yeah, because I agree with that because, somebody like Liam Smith kind of built his stock, like I was saying with Canelo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he lost, but, you know, that's still kind of a name that travels to another name. You know, it's connected. Absolutely. This is like his biggest fight.
Absolutely.
You know, next to the Saddam Ali fight. And like you were saying, he wants to stay active. 2 months off and you right back in the ring.
Right in there.
You right back in there. So what he's doing is kind of like what Hurd is doing. You know, he's trying to weed out all the other competition to kind of corner Jamel, corner Jarrett, you know, however you want to call it. You know, they all they all need to kind of get these other guys out of there now and just face off against each other, man.
Absolutely.
But since Liam Smith, he lost to Canelo, you know, in the past, that was like almost 2 years ago. He's like fought 3 more times since then. So he's kind of been staying a little bit fresher. Yeah. And I mean, you know, he is a boxer. But at the same time, I don't really see him giving Jaime Munguia trouble, man.
Yeah, I mean, only thing I would say, Ant, is stuff like you just said. He shared the ring with Canelo. That's a greatness. There's certain things that if a man is smart, he can take out of that and capitalize on, you know, just the experience thing. I mean, I don't see him physically posing a threat to Munguia, but I don't know what tricks he might have in the bag, you know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's a older, wiser fighter, so to speak. But, you know, I'm rooting for my boy, Ant, you know, Munguia. I'm a big Munguia fan right now. So, hopefully he puts on the what's name. I just don't want to overcount it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because my thing is with looking back at some of Munguia's fights, you know, he the beast all the time. It's like we're going to have to see him make adjustments if Liam understands that he is a beast, and you know Liam goes and boxes him
decides to box. Yeah,
because you know, like with Canelo, when Canelo knocked Liam out with that body shot, you know, Canelo, he's a boxer too. Mm-hmm. You know, he's still a polished boxer, so he's still gonna set up the punches. But I don't want to see Jaime just go in there looking for the knockout. You know?
Yeah, you know.
And that's kind of how Charlo did with Trout. He kind of looked for it, and it never came. You know, and then you kind of let rounds slip. So, but like Jaime said, man, he says he's a natural middleweight moving down, so he's just a big boy, you know,
that's what I said.
Bigger than Canelo. Yeah. So I just feel like he is going to kind of catch up to him, man.
Yeah.
What you predicting, man?
I'm gonna always try to play safe and say I think Munguia should be able to get him out of there within 10, 11 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I think he should be able to close the show within 10 or 11 rounds, if everything goes right.
I'm going to say 5.
You gonna say 5?
I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
And he going to knock him out.
5.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Knockout, 5th round, yeah.
But
mid-rounds.
Like I was saying, and I just like to see this energy from the new wave of fighters. Hopefully they can break this mold, this once or twice a year mold that, they trying to, and stayed on the game. You know what I mean? Cause, that's bull crap. That's bull crap. So, I mean, you got guys like Munguia that's, 2 months ago he was in the ring. He back in the ring again on TV again. I mean, that's how you do it, Ant. That's how you do it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just like, the last time we were talking about our favorite fights, every time I look at Holyfield, like every fight he had was a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, these guys nowadays, they shouldn't see that. Like we always talk about risk. They shouldn't see it as a risk. They should just see it as a challenge, Or just see it as another fight. I mean, if you're as good as you say you are, there should be no danger in a fight, Holyfield, okay, he took some punches in there, but that was his style.
Right.
He went in there and did what he had to do because he didn't see it as I'm scared,
Right.
Maybe he could have polished up on defense to avoid it, but he was like, I'm still going to do what I do.
It's my style.
That's his style, and that's what it comes down to. Like, you can take on the names, but win how you can, that's how I feel.
I mean, and when you really think about it and really break it down, I mean, dude, you're fighting in a controlled setting, referees, you get to take breaks. You're fighting a guy who's definitely within, 3 to 5 pounds, generally of your weight. What's the fear in that, Ant?
This ain't no street fight.
Yeah, street fight, then it's different. Oh man, I didn't want to fight him. He was 6 foot and 300 pounds. I'm only here. That's different. Mm-hmm. But this is, I mean, but in you guys, that's your job. You're a fighter. You know what I mean? And
your hands are wrapped. Nobody gonna choke you or stab you. This is hands.
I mean, the worst thing you possibly could do is get knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the worst possible thing. And you get paid for that. You get paid.
You still gonna get your money, regardless.
Yeah, so it's just hard for me to kind of wrap my head around guys not wanting to fight a guy in the same weight class. Now they want you to move up and you got to put weight on. That's different. But come on, look what Ward did. I mean, at 175, he still didn't look like 175. I still don't think 175 is good for him. I think 168 is a good look for Andre Ward. He talking about heavyweight. I'll see what happens if that happens, but he was still a small guy and went up to a dangerous guy and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. That's how you become a superstar. Well, I ain't even gonna say a superstar. That's how you become a legend. That's how you become a legend. Exactly. A superstar, you can get on Instagram and become and do this and do that.
But that don't mean
become a
fight,
superstar. But a legend, that's how you become a legend in the game. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel, man. Yeah, everything you say, that's just facts.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just facts for the fighter,
And dude, this is the only way I see it. You know what I mean? It's not no, this is the way I see it. I mean, the same way, I guess if a football player or basketball, if I watch that, I would want somebody to be the MVP. I mean, I would want them to be dunk,
Yeah.
I don't watch those sports like that. I watch boxing, so I want to see these guys, perform at the highest level.
Yeah, because like you say, looking at a legend and a superstar, two different things.
Two different things, brother.
The legend, he's putting in that work.
Two different things,
where it
brother.
comes in, where
Absolutely.
it's supposed to be. But, superstar, you say, they could just look good and they get, mediocre skills and they're getting all the big pay-per-views and everything.
Absolutely.
But this dude, he taking the hard road with the good fights.
I mean, Jack Johnson is a legend. He wasn't a superstar, though.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Ray Robinson is a legend, but he wasn't a superstar. You know what I mean? A lot of these older guys are legends, but they wasn't superstars. Wasn't no social. People didn't really know about them like that. They were stars, but not superstars. These guys today are transcending in other countries and just, it's major. But
when you say that, think about it. Years later, after they pass, who get more respect? The legends. The legends. They in it for a long time.
Yeah, that's forever.
It's forever.
That's the difference. The legend is forever, and the superstars for how long you're a superstar. You know what I'm saying? But that legendary status is, you retired. You good. You ain't got the, know what I mean?
That's it.
But that's a good topic, just, superstar and a legend is two different things. Now, we got people in today's world say, man, fuck a legend. I just want to get paid right now. I want to be a superstar. You know what I mean? Everybody got their personal, however they want to look at it. But, when the book is done and everything is over and you put your life on the line for things, I want to leave a legacy behind. I want my name in some type of book somewhere. You know what I mean? For me, being an athlete, that's something big to an athlete. If you're not an athlete, you don't care about the Hall of Fame and this stuff. It don't mean nothing to you. But if I was an athlete, that stuff would mean stuff to me, because that's what I kind of do this for, to be looked at by these higher level people. Yeah,
I think that's why I love the sport, because if I picture myself in it, the people I'm following are the guys that are making that blueprint. They start from day one. The day they win a world title, they defending it. Right. They taking all the titles, and they fighting everybody. And those are the guys that I'm kind of looking at on my wall, that are the legends. And that's how I would see it if I was a fighter. I'm going for the hard fights, whether I win or lose. Because even if I lose, I want to say, I fought Joe first. I fought George. Exactly. And got my jaw broke, but I was in there with him.
Exactly. And it kind of just correlate to everything. The dude in the neighborhood who go fight the baddest dude, he might get his ass whipped, but he gets props for that. Yo, you was doing all right till you got knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
And think about that. That's the thing. Like, if you never face that guy, you always gonna, damn well in your mind, you always gonna be like, damn, I should have did it. And how are the people around you feeling about you because you walked away and said there's too much risk?
Yeah,
how is everybody really thinking about you?
You already know.
But if you stepped in there, took some shots, gave some, got mollywopped, maybe you laid down, but you did your thing, you stepped to them, everybody gonna respect you.
They gotta respect that, because I got up in the ring and did this. You wouldn't have a heart to do nothing like that. You know? And that's part of the game. We win some, we lose some. You can't win all of them, man. It's just not that way. You know what I mean? Well, Floyd Mayweather's undefeated. If he had kept going, he wouldn't be undefeated.
He wouldn't be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wouldn't be, because but the thing about him is, like, Mayweather, he wanted to be a superstar, but being a legend was important to him just as much,
Right. From his pedigree.
His
uncles. His dad, that Midwest boxing deep pedigree and, lineage, and that I think that helped him out and get to that legend thing, because despite what he might say about money, his legend is Floyd Mayweather was crying. We won't forget at that press conference, because he didn't feel like he was getting the accolades that he deserved. So it is deeper than just the money with him, regardless what he says. He's a legacy guy. You know what I mean?
Just the way he broke down when he beat somebody like Gotti. Remember, broke down. Like everybody thought he would lose that.
The tears of joy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. And that was written on his face. He couldn't deny that. He dropped to his knees and cried like a baby, and it was just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? You feel that. You feel that when somebody say, man, I worked so hard for this for day one and I done it when people doubted me. You just state of euphoria for right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's why, to me, it's just like, when you see those fighters and you feel that energy form when they got all the belts and they beat that hardest fighter, you feel that more so than just a dude that walks in the ring and beats just goes in there for the show, and then he just, talking about his money. The guys that aren't talking about the money, that's the guys that you usually looking at with more respect, because they respect in the fight game, Like, what we seeing Jaime Munguia doing right now, that's kind of like we saying the blueprint these other fighters do need to follow. Just being active, taking anybody on in the division.
And that's the thing, you're young. Jaime could lose tonight or in the future. Okay, he's still young enough to learn and bounce back. That's part of the game. At least I fought. I didn't say, oh no, I'm not going. You know what I mean?
You want to experience that now versus whenever you 35 or 40, then that's crushing. Then you
never felt it. Yeah, you can't bounce back from it. So it's just like right now, he like win, lose, or draw. I want to stay active. You know what I mean? David Benavidez, win, lose, or draw. I want to stay active. These guys, this new young generation is coming back with that energy that the game needs. And they had us sitting on fighting twice a year, and that was terrible.
That's the thing too, man. If if Jaime Munguia is victorious, if he's victorious Saturday, do you think that he can get a Charlo fight next year or by the end of the year? I doubt by the end of the year, it's almost December, but
it's hard to say. Like I was watching this thing on YouTube the other day, and they were talking about like the top guys in the game right now. And the Charlo brothers came up, and the guy who was doing the video, he definitely had an interesting perspective. He was like, "Do you know these guys? They kind of made their self known in the game, not necessarily by fighting, but just their presence, their energy, and everything. And if that's 100%." Jaime already mentioned one of their names. So if this energy is 100% that they, always putting out there, then the fight next year should happen. But I don't know, because I don't know if that's real, man. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't know if that energy that they come with is real, because they not fighting the people that I necessarily want to see them fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And to me, December ain't too late. You know what I mean? Like if they
December this year?
Yeah, it's not too late.
If you're a young lion and you about it,
yeah.
I promise you, Munguia will be down for December.
Yeah.
If he just fought 2 months ago and he fighting now, he'll be down for December.
Yeah,
he'd be down for December.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think he would. Yeah.
And that's why I say, and I can't tell you if it's gonna happen, because he's not gonna be the one posturing and pose. This he ain't gonna be doing that.
This is when them World Boxing Super Series would be coming in handy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For these divisions right now, man. Because it's like you really need to get some of these guys in there now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely. Because everybody can't be the best. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
so we need to find a ranking. And you might be second best, you might be third best, but we need to know that pecking order so we can make the fights that need to be made. If you're third best and he's fourth best, so maybe y'all can fight, but the fourth best shouldn't be fighting number one, eh? You shouldn't.
Last question before I move on though. Do you think that's true? Like, you think some fighters avoid another fighter so they can just argue that they are the best in the division? Like, say if I'm undefeated welterweight, you are, and I never want to fight you, but we never cross paths, just so I could just say, I'm the best. And
I mean, for me, that's some sucker stuff. I wouldn't, but I can't say that don't be happening. I think it's something a sucker would do. But there you go. Definitely, part of the game, because it's the same way like people in life play that game. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me that a guy, if in his mind he think you might got a chance of losing, that he don't want to, he don't want to deal with that. And like I say, in the world today, and the memes, the platforms, the things that kind of happen when you lose too, it's a little different now, but I'm just saying it's still part of the game. You know what I mean? It's still part of the game.
Yeah, the fight never changes.
Yeah, the fight of the game, fight is the same. Gloves and in the boxing ring, 12 ring, same thing.
But going on I mentioned since I mentioned World Boxing Super Series, I want to talk a little bit about this fight. Alexander Usyk versus Gassiev. I just want to bring it to light because not enough people in America know about it. We're not really hearing too much about it. The whole series, it took place overseas, so the super middleweight tournament, the cruiserweight tournament, it's all been overseas, so it hasn't really got like a steady stream here. I kept up with it for a little bit when I saw the Chris Eubank fight, which you saw that too. We saw that. But other than that, like, it hadn't really gotten like the recognition it needs, especially for this other fight that's coming up this weekend. Like I said, these two names, Usyk and Gassiev, is for all the belts in the division. Yeah. The undisputed crown at cruiserweight. I know cruiserweight's always been kind of a division that people kind of just look over. They go straight to heavyweight. But to me, this is a big fight. Usyk, if you seen him, man, this dude is 14-0, but he be knocking people out. He got crazy power. Yeah. Got a little bit of boxing skill too, but he's like 6'3". He almost look like a heavyweight to me, man. He just got them crazy eyes too, man. When I see him training, dude look crazy, but he's just really intimidating. And the dude he's fighting, Gassiev, he's like 6'3". I think he's like 25, 26-0. Yeah,
because he was just on like this thing I watched, like the 8 hardest punches in the game right now. Murat was on there, so I mean the power is there. You know what I'm saying?
The power is crazy with these guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, the cruiserweight division is kind of like for the past few years, it's kind of been like what the heavyweight division was in the early 90s, you know. Not too many guys that are really, really big and slow. It's kind of like those compact guys who are throwing combinations and hitting hard, you know, knocking people out. And, you know, I feel like this is a fight that people need to see. Yeah,
definitely. Like you said, I mean, you kind of curious why it hasn't been more promotion or advertisement for these guys. I mean, if you really, you know, put them under the microscope and break these guys down, I mean, these guys are legit guys, you know, undefeated, you know, powerful punches. I mean, some of these guys got that freakish power. So, I mean, it's not like it was full of bums. It's just the name thing, though, Ant. You know, Chris, the Eubank, he was like one of the biggest names on there. So
him
just
and, Groves,
Groves. A lot of people just were unfamiliar with these guys, and that goes back to promotion and marketing. You know, these guys have to. I don't know what a guy from overseas could do to make himself interesting in America. I mean, that's part of Triple G's thing. He's just who he is. I mean, he's not trying to be Americanized and dressed this way. He's just being himself. And, you know, we trendy over here. We clicky over here, everything, you know. So I'm curious to how these guys could really market themselves, you know, and become more U.S. friendly. Ant, what you think? I mean, if you don't really speak clear English, that's a big, you know, what's the name, you know, big check against you. And
it is. It's really hard to say how to market somebody from Russia, Poland. I mean, UK is a little bit easier. Yeah. You know, the Eastern European is kind of harder. Like, but we talking Russia because, like you said, the name thing, like Klitschko, that was like 10, 15 years ago, and we still haven't found out how to market somebody who became undisputed champion at heavyweight. And he's still not really seen as like this big heavyweight figure, like versus somebody like Lennox Lewis. You know, he was from Canada, England. You know, he's moved around everywhere, but he's still seen as a lot of the U.S. fighters can still say he was one of the best.
Respect him that way. Yeah,
they respect best heavyweight of all time. One of them.
But think about like this, and this is the difference. You see the way they market Vasily. They marketed him in American way, a sex symbol, Versace clothes. This haircut, all that stuff makes a difference and matters to people. Yeah. These guys are not getting marketed that way. You know what I'm saying? Triple G is not getting marketed as a GQ guy, you know, or any of those European guys are not getting marketed that way.
But that's usually the only way you can market somebody. You can kind of say pretty much like you talking Canelo, he Mexican, he can't speak English, but he's seen as a sex symbol with the women, you know, same thing.
Yeah, but you have to have some looks. You have to have some looks. If you ugly, you ain't really gonna be in the sex symbol realm. But I mean, Vasily isn't a guy who I would say, but they just have him sleek. He's hanging out with the in crowd and just doing all these young people things that, you know, makes him marketable, like, and mainly to women. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you gotta kind of have that look.
Yeah, that look.
You know, for Eastern European, if you want to cross over, they have to look good.
Yeah, basically. You have to have a look, and you have to have that style too. It's Lomachenko's swag, pretty much. It's not, you know, it's everything he's doing. Let's
be honest, he got the black swag.
Yeah, he got the swag.
He got the Caesar.
Swag, swag is ours. period.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I had to break it down for casual, you know, let them know.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, you know, I mean, like, so that goes back to, like we say, I mean, some of these guys Triple G wouldn't even look right doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, these guys are just different types of guys, but I think that's a big part of, you know, trying to market these guys over here. It's just hard to force that robot stiff image on America. We loose, we wide open over here. You know what I mean? Open, so,
and that when you bring that up, it is kind of like, you know, shout out to Julius Fogel. You know,
for sure,
chopped it up when he said he went overseas and, you know, kind of sparred with some of them Eastern European fighters.
Exactly.
He said they was like all about the technique. He said it was really judging. He said it wasn't really about power. It was range.
Exactly.
Certain angles. That's what they're spending their time doing. And, you know, and I think it's a kind of a gift and a curse because, see, now some of our fighters are so open that they sleeping on certain things, you know, and they over here capitalizing on the legacy part, you know, the skill part. So it's kind of a thing that just has to kind of go hand in hand. I guess you kind of have to introduce it, you know, a little at a time, you know,
and find that balance for
balance,
you.
Medium,
for you. You know, Triple G, to me, he seems comfortable. He seems, okay, I'm not a big American citizen. I'm cool with that, though. I do got some fans here. I can't speak. You know, he seems cool with that. You know what I mean? And you find your medium and rock with that, you know? Triple G is not like a mega superstar. He's not the type of guy you like to see getting interviewed, and he's just a laid back, humble, just all American guy, kind of. You know what I mean? When you look at him,
he's like a hard worker. You know, do his job. You know, he
blue
answers
collar
questions. Blue collar. You know, do his job, go home. Now he want to retire.
That's it. That's it, man. You know, where Vasily, you're gonna see Vasily in the club. You're gonna see him with a supermodel. You're gonna see he's just capitalizing on all those different looks. You know what I'm saying? And that's him. That's his, you know, lane. And you know, that don't mean you're gonna win fights.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I'll admit about Triple G right now too is like he's not my favorite fighter, but I can admit that he never really ran around saying I'm the best, you know?
Yeah. He's always humble, dude.
Like we said, blue collar, he's pretty humble.
Always been humble, dude. Always been humble. They've been saying stuff about him. He's the best. So he never said, "Oh, I got freakish power." None of the stuff that people say
he
about
shows
him.
You that freakish power.
He just show it. you know,
that's what I'm saying.
And that's why I respect the man. It's not a lot of talk. It's just in the ring. He do what he got to do. It's like a blue collar. I'm not gonna talk. I'm gonna go do my 8 hours and go home. Yeah. I ain't gonna talk shit about it or talk about it all the time, you know? Yeah. Just do it and go home.
Yeah. That don't mean I'm Team Triple G for the rematch yet, Pete. We gonna get into that later, but you know, I'm not Team Triple G yet, so. But going back to this fight with what's his name? Marat Gassiev and Alexander. See, there's another Alexander in light heavyweight, Gassiev. And he just is a harder puncher too, but then there's Usyk in cruiserweight. All right, so going into this one, man, I might have to lean towards Usyk. I think he's a little bit stronger, and like I said, he's just really intimidating the way he be looking. You know, like even at the train that he did the open workout, you know, Marat, he did his open workout. They said that Usyk, I saw him, he ain't really do one. You know, he's just bowing and making a scene. You know, he's trying to make himself seem a little bit, you know,
intimidating.
Yeah, trying to seem a little intimidating, but like I said, I kind of lean towards him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marat won. But I think it's going to end in a knockout, man. Yeah. Somebody going to get them belts by knockout, man.
I ain't too familiar with these guys, and I didn't really see the weigh-in, so I can't really go off any body language, anything I saw at the weigh-in, anything like that. But, what I've seen as far as film on this Marat guy, he, you know, has a lot of power, and you're telling me this other kid has a lot of power. I don't know what's going to happen, Anna, but, you know, I mean, seeing the guy Marat, the type of power he has, I mean, devastating power, I would see, you know, a knockout probably at some point. I don't really know how to call it, but I could see the fight ending in a knockout. And I mean, and that's, for me too, like, I'm not too familiar with these guys because they haven't been marketed. You know, even though I know a lot about other fighters and, you know, they haven't been marketed that way. You know, the other day when I watched that video, when I seen Marat, you know, one of the eight hardest punches out, I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? They don't market him that way. You know, this was a YouTube video I seen him on, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these dudes, they're packing these gifts that you don't really get to hear about. You know, in any of these countries, you know, there's these dudes who got these really talented in certain, you know, fields, box, the speed, the power, but you're not hearing enough about them. And I feel like this fight is just going to go overlooked.
Yeah, and definitely that.
We haven't had like I said, undisputed cruiserweight since, I want to say David Haye. I think he was the last one unified, like when he fought that Enzo
Maccarinelli, yeah. Okay.
And then before that, it was Holyfield. You know, that's years in between. So I feel like this is one of those fights that's kind of getting overlooked. But if I find out, I'll post it on our Facebook, the exact place is streaming. You know, shout out to Eric. You know, he posted a little link. He said it's supposed to be on Twitter live. So
yeah, shout out to Eric Thompson, man.
Yeah, hopefully if you type in World Boxing Series, it should come up. But yeah, it's supposed to be for all the belts. It's supposed to be for Ali Trophy too, man.
That's what's up.
So that's big, man. Big. But anything else you want to say before we wrap this one up, man?
No, pretty much. I think I kind of got everything off my chest that was on it, and I think pretty much for right now. You know, we can talk boxing forever, but I think I kind of got the stuff that was, you know, pertinent or bugging me off. You know, not bugging me, but you know what I mean.
That 154 division, right? You know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we would love to see all divisions just heat up. I mean, that's good for boxing. Any fight that's on will be good. You know what I'm saying? No matter what weight division.
Well, shout out to Evander Holyfield. See, he's starting the World Boxing Series the best he can in the welterweight division with the younger crop coming up.
Yeah.
You know, he's got something going on with the younger fighters, some of the ones he's promoting. So it's like he's getting the World Series done at that level.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully that'll be... Then there's one at bantamweight. You know, I know not a lot of people watch bantamweight, but there's one at that weight. So hopefully they'll kind of be pushed more and more.
Exactly. Because, I mean, think about what you get from these competitions. And you get the best always fighting the best. So that's why I say...
And they get money. They get guaranteed...
But, I mean, from a fan's perspective, we can guarantee from 115 to 220, we can see a good fight no matter who's there, because the people in the division, we weaned out all the weak links. You know, it's nothing but good fighters at, you know, top 10 at whatever weight class. You know what I mean? That's just good for boxing. Like you say, you might say, well, I don't like the small guys, but I like the two best small guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah,
you know, you like
cruiserweight is dry. But the two best cruiserweights is going to be a war.
That's going to be a war.
You know what I'm saying?
It's same like with heavyweight. We got the two best guys, but they ain't meeting up. You know, and like I said, we might talk about it sometime, but like I said, they ain't really nothing to talk about. Man.
Yeah,
like,
ain't really nothing to talk about. And to be honest, it's people on the horizon. There's Dubois kid. There's a couple other heavyweights coming up. I mean, the time, it ain't guaranteed. It ain't guaranteed, bro.
And like I'm saying, with these dudes at cruiserweight, 6'3",
it could easily
knocking people out of cruise.
Can easily slide over.
They're gonna get in there.
You know what I mean? Easily slide over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. But yeah, man, I think that's about all I got too, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's it, man.
I don't want to, like I said, heavyweight. I feel the same way about heavyweight like you feel about 154, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Before we wrap it up, I just want to say, you know, make sure y'all subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and SoundCloud, and you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Jab Effect. You know, like always, we post some good stuff up there. You know, we try to fill y'all in and enlighten y'all on some of the things we know about boxing, and some of the things we just be finding out on our own.
Yeah, I mean, giving people, you know, different looks. That's it. It ain't, you know, it's things from our perspectives, just giving y'all different looks or whatever. So yeah, we appreciate the support on those pages too, man. Definitely comment, like, you know, subscribe, whatever. We appreciate it all. And I just want to give a few shout outs to my boy Roger, man, at the job for sure, always holding us down, man. Support my boy Jamar at the job, always holding us down. You know, that means Sherry Black. Let's just keep it. Just don't give everybody out there Sherry Black, my girl Sherry Black. You know, holding us down, supporting. I mean, Donnie, Big Mike, Little Mike. You know, just everybody, man. Them kind of, you know, just play their part in our movement this year. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, like we say, Donnie, he got a fight coming up, so don't be surprised if he slide in sometime in between now and, you know, August 16th is
matter of fact, y'all be on the lookout for that. We got Donnie coming back, Dangerous Donnie coming back. So.
Oh yeah, but before we wrap it up, just want to say my name is Combo Breaker 99.
It's your boy Boston P.
And we are out.
We out, man. Later.